Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where it's a real pleasure to give a reaction review to an artist who I've never heard before. Now, as you guys always know, if you've been following this channel for the last month or so at least, we've had to change the format of how we do things here. So if you want to see my reaction review, the review is what I'm about to give you, the reaction I just recorded, and to see that, click on the link in the description below and it'll open a separate player where you can watch the reaction. We just kind of have to do that after some problems with YouTube. Anyway, we are now going to have the review. So if you haven't watched the reaction, pause this and watch the reaction by clicking the link in the description below. Have you seen the reaction? Do you even need to see the reaction? Do you just want the review? Well, here's the review. Okay, so this was a very interesting one in that it was incredibly minimalist. Now, I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with the idea of minimalist music on this channel for a while. A lot of the time when I'm criticising, and I'm not just being one of those sorts of, oh, Asian music's great, Western music's terrible. No, there's a lot of good music in the Western scene, but a lot of the music that really, well, pretty much all of the music that charts now in the Western scene is pretty awful in my opinion. And a lot of that I put down to a form of minimalism. And it's a form of minimalism where the attention is more directed at just the, I guess it's rather unsurprising considering what the goal of this music is. It's very common denominator. You know, the beat is always a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The lyrics are always generically about sort of very generic emotions and things. And the music tends to be defined by a simple bass line. And then all of the other sounds are very echoey in background just to make sure there's nothing that could particularly, be seen as too offensive to anyone's ears. It's very, very wishy-washy and bland. Now, this is a different form of minimalism. So when I want to talk about this being minimalism, so I want to talk about the reason why this works. And a lot of that was embodied for me by the fact that, as I said during the reaction, the chorus of this song is little more than a very simple beat and a strumming and a singing vocal line. And the question is, how do we get to the point where that sounds like the big impactful chorus that it actually kind of feels like? And that's because of the restraint and minimalism in the other parts of the songs. Now, there's a lot of muted guitar in this. Now, in case you don't know what that means, unfortunately I don't have a guitar with me at the moment, it's outside. And as we don't edit anything on this channel, I'm not going to leave you waiting. But there's a difference between when you play a guitar and that the sounds just ring out, or you can do it another way, which is you put your palm on the base of where the strings come from in the guitar, and you play like that. So while you're playing, you're vibrating the string, but you're also muting it. So you just get a very jup, 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 jup sound out of it rather than the bring you'd normally get. My vocal representations of instruments on par as always. So that's what was being done in the verses here. You get that very sort of light jump, 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 sort of muted playing from the guitar, which was, it meant that it had this sort of tension. And it was being played to well, it sounded at first like a 3/4 rhythm, and then it very quickly became obvious it was actually a tripleted rhythm. That, of course, being a 3/4 rhythm is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This had a beat which was actually a very solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when it's tripleted, it means between those counts, you have it broken up into sections of 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in between, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like that. It gives it a swinging sort of sound, makes it feel a little bit more, it makes it feel a little bit more like almost like it's supposed to be danced to. It gives it a swaying motion. And that was done here, and the song started with some really great production. I love the way it started. I mean, it came in with the air raid siren, which I'm assuming was just added for the music video. But that automatically gives you this feeling you're thinking of 1940s. And then when it comes in with that sort of tripleted rhythm, again, it's not that it doesn't happen now. There are some very prominent songs that have actually charted in the last 10 or 20 years that have used a tripleted rhythm. But it's very rare in popular music to hear that compared to what it would have been back, if you go back to the 40s or 50s, it would have probably been as, or if not more common than not using it. So coming in with an air raid siren, then you get this tripleted rhythm and it's being played in a very distorted way that sounds like an old radio. Clearly they were going for a nostalgic feel. Combined with this sort of girl being alone in the woods in the video. It was very good at giving you this sort of sense of being out of place. And then it was nice how that built up. So you've already got a tension at the beginning of the song. And then it builds up into the verse where there's this lovely melody. Like I say, her voice was really good. I loved. This is something which is one of the skills that I most appreciate in singers, is a singer who not only can belt out the loud notes, which is what most people concentrate on, but then can also get back to those quieter notes and deliver them with a real delicacy, a real softness that sounds human. And she had a really good quality for that. And I loved how the vocals came in. It had a sort of slight fragility to it. And it was, the vocals were coming in at the same time as you getting more of this sort of muted guitar line. And it made it kind of mysterious, made it build up. The drum line, again, very simple, just going boom, 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 kind of signposting, because a lot of the sounds, they're very light sounds. They're towards the higher end of the frequency band. Therefore, the kick drum was just sort of rooting everything with a boom, 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 boom. And so, yeah, that to me was a real nice way to play you in. And then that just meant that things were already... had such an atmosphere, had such a mysterious feel to it. It was already so nice. And like I say, none of this would have worked without a good melody. It had a good melody, which really helped. When you come to the chorus, all you really need to do then is just start strumming. Start strumming, push your voice up to a slightly louder register, give it a little bit more impact, a little bit more power, a little bit more passion at that point, lose the fragility and replace it with emotion, and you've easily delivered an impactful chorus. And that's what this song did. And I really liked that. I thought it was a really great way of making something very simple but very effective. Again, as I always point out with things like this, I'm not going to say it's the first time we've ever heard this. This is not a totally unique concept. I just think this is one of those songs that I really like when it takes a concept, takes certain theories, certain musical ideas that we've heard before, and then executes them pretty much flawlessly. Now, I think this benefits, like I say, a lot from the melody. If this had a more lackluster melody, it would have probably been quite easily forgettable, because, like I say, being minimalist and having, like I say, using techniques very well, but not really doing anything totally original, with a lackluster melody, it would have probably fallen by the sideline. It is good though that it's got a good melody throughout, and it's got a chorus which is actually memorable. I mean, I'm remembering it right now in my head. It's memorable enough that you would not immediately forget this. You'll be a song where you go, actually, I feel like listening to that again. The video was nicely delivered. Really like the minimalist approach to it. I also like I say, it's one of those ones where if you've ever been into a Japanese countryside, I've been for wanders through a Japanese countryside. I've been lost in the Japanese countryside with James a couple of times, which is great fun. And you'll recognise those kind of quiet roads that seem to be completely dead, that go through the trees, and the weird little cuttings you get when it's on the side of a mountain to stop the rock falls and stuff like that. It was all very recognisable. So I liked it, had a good feel for that. I think the blindfold thing, although I didn't really get the lyrics enough to know what the connection with the blindfold was, it was an interesting little technique, gave it a little bit of visual interest there. I also liked how they did that distortion effect on her when she was kneeling at the beginning of the video. That added a lot to it as well, added a real sense of, what's the mystery, added to that tension that the song was already trying to deliver at the beginning. It was great. I mean, like I said, I'm not fully aware of what the meaning of the song was. As usually happens, I pick up some of the words, but not enough to be confident I can really review the meaning on a first reaction and review basis. But listening to it, certainly you get the feeling that the video seemed to match the onomatopoeia of the song, shall we say. So, yeah, great stuff. I really would very much look forward to hearing more of her or them. I don't know. So basically, whether you know these guys, girl, artist, whatever, or not, whether you like this song or not, please, as always, get in the comments. Music is all about opinion. Like I say, I review it from the standpoint of someone who's worked with music my entire adult life, but music is only as good as it is to your ears. Subjective, objective, it's all important. So, like I say, get in there, tell me your opinion either way. Like the video if you'd like to, and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And as always, if you want to continue more of a conversation, we are always watering away on the Reddit and the Discord, linked in the description below, along with my Facebook and Twitter. And a big thank you to our Patreon followers, as always, for making sure this all works and happens. So thank you so much for tuning in. You have a lovely day, and until I see you hopefully soon in the next video, for now, ciao, ciao.